You're listening to the Better Men Podcast, a no deadbeat society project. www.wearebettermen.com. You just watch random videos of Fat Bastard from Austin Powers?
Yeah, bro.
Holy fuck. So, yeah, no, your audio is good, man. We're good.
Cool.
Episode 8. Quick one.
Oh, let's do it.
You're on your lunch or something, I'm gonna assume. You're in the middle of work. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, you could assume I'm on lunch, but definitely at work.
Yeah, at work. All right. I'm in kid had soccer this morning, and then I had the local news on, and after our soccer game we were driving, and I heard there was an alert sent to everybody who has a cell phone in Hawaii, and my sister and a bunch of my good friends are down there, so I quickly called them, and because the news was saying there was some bomb alert sent out. My sister talked to my sister quickly, and she said, no, it was a mistake or something. The government cleared it up in about an hour, but she said that it was pretty crazy down there. Some extended family were on a whale watching tour, and they all had to crowd in on the boat, and the staff were really good about making sure that they were all safe. But apparently it got a little crazy. But so then I came home, and I flip on the news, and I don't on cable here. I don't have Fox. You got to pay for it, so I don't get any of the right wing stuff. I only get the left, and of course CNN's all over this, and I don't know. I'm ignorant to know who's governing Hawaii. I don't know if it's R or D, but there was definitely a Democratic senator, I believe, from Hawaii on the news, and it just seemed like they're making this huge The staff there came out and said, there was a mistake made. Someone pressed a button during a shift change that shouldn't have been pressed, and then it just seemed to turn into this political thing. And I was just wondering, I thought this would be a good question to ask you, because you're in politics, you're involved in it, and in the whole process and all that kind of stuff. Are we at a point where mistakes just can't be mistakes? It has to be a left mistake or a right mistake or a Trump mistake or an Obama mistake. Like this guy that pressed the button, he could be a libertarian. He could be a non-voter. He could be an illegal. I don't know. We don't know. But it just seems like they're making this huge deal out of it.
Yeah, man, it's, we live in a world where you cannot make a mistake if you are in charge of anything. You can't press a button on accident. You can't say something that, any other person would take normal. You can't, you can't fart at work. You can't do anything, without it being, somebody else's fault. And it's sad. I mean, the emergency alert system is exactly that. It's a system. And anyone that works in technology knows it doesn't take much to fuck it up. And
yep.
That's what sounds like it happened. It was a shift change. Somebody spilled coffee or something, and it sent out the worst of wolf cries you can think of. But I mean, they came out and admitted that they screwed up and it was an accident. And of course, it had to become politicized. That's the world we live in, especially in the U.S. If it can be blamed on a politician and it can be politicized to make one party look better or another party look bad, they're going to do it.
Yeah, it's just it was almost mind-boggling. I get that there were some politicians down there that started tweeting, and I haven't read them all. I'm gonna start clicking through the hashtags a little bit later when I have some time. But they're going hard at this. This should never happen. This person should be fired. That person should be fired. But I mean, I think about even in my own position in my career, and things like this happen, and yes, you need to correct them so they don't happen again. But I don't think this is a left or a right or a presidential mistake or a governor, whether they're Democratic or Republican. It's just a guy or a woman was doing a job. They probably don't get paid enough to have that serious of power and made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cut and dry, man. It was a mistake, and it happens, and
Yeah.
and it got blown out of proportion. I mean, don't get me wrong, it probably set all of Hawaii and probably even the West Coast into a panic. But it's a mistake,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, we got to quit politicizing every little thing that happens. We're one of many shitholes, and it's going to happen. So
There we go, shitholes. But that's another topic. But I mean, I was just like, once I confirmed that the family was all good down there, and the mistake was made. I was impressed that I mean, like I have family down there that are roaming, so they're on a U.S. network, but they're still technically on their Canadian carrier on their cell phone, and this got to them too. Like I was just like, holy shit! Like this is sophisticated. Like we're very fortunate that we even have that.
oh
Like,
yeah, I mean, see, that's the way I was thinking. As soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, so it was a mistake. But how fortunate is it that every person that could have been affected by a missile launch got a heads up?
yeah, like it's not 1940 anymore, like Pearl Harbor or whenever that year was. Well, I don't even know. I should know that, but where a bomb's coming at you and half the population might not even know.
Yeah, no, this was, in my opinion, it was a mistake, but it was a show of, if anything, this should show any country that wants to launch stuff at us to cause an issue. Listen, we can have a heads up, and we can know about it very quickly. And
Yeah.
and it's, in my opinion, I think it's a blessing in disguise if you think about it.
Yep. Now there's always a positive, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I wanted to chat with you quickly about that because I was like, as I'm listening to the radio and going through the phone calls and everything, I'm like, I want to talk to Steve about this and get his opinion because he's a motherfucking politician, or soon to be. That being said, though, before we end this one, let's, times, you and I were just chatting before this, and I've gone through tough times. You go through tough times. I want to get some words from Steve T. Empowers right now for anybody listening that might be going through some tough shit. Because I know you're going through some stages in life right now that are a little tough. You'll get through it, but let's get some advice from you, man. Like some fucking, what you'd give to someone you're coaching who's going through some tough shit right now. Let's end that with that because that's a positive thing.
Right. So, shit happens in life, and personally, right now, my I work for an American cell phone company. My store's closing down. I'm going to be without a job in 11 days. My wheelchair broke 2 hours ago, and most people would say, "Wow, well, your life just took a shit. It took a left turn, and what are you going to do?" And the way I look at it is simply this. I could look at it as a bad thing, or I could look at it as a challenge to overcome and take notes for the next time it happens. And the way I look at it is, yes, my store is closing. I could end up in another store somewhere, or I could end up in a whole new job. But you know what? This is an opportunity for me to think if I want to make a change, or do I want to try to stick with it and see what happens. Or I can do both. And personally, I'm going to do both. I'm going to, get my contingency plan set. I'm going to hold on for the ride and see what happens. But at the end of the day, this is, in my opinion, a door opening and a door closing at the same time to explore my options and see what kind of change I want to make in life. And realistically, this job I have now could potentially be a dead end, and I could be stuck in this position for who knows how long. I could have another opportunity come knocking anytime that could change my life. Same thing with the broken wheelchair. You know what? It sucks. I have no backrest. I'm like in a wagon. It's awful. But
Fuck.
I look at it as, you know what? Well, they're going to bring me a loaner chair. It's probably going to be awful. I'm going to learn to appreciate what I have even more than I already do. And I'll deal with it. And it's going to give me a chance to know what I'd be missing if I didn't have what I have now.
How do you, man, just to interject quickly, how do you got a kid, you got a wife, you got a life, you got responsibilities. How are you staying this focused and this determined to look at it like a door closing, but then also a door opening when you have responsibility? Like this is what this is my fear. This is a lot of people's fear, and this is a lot of people's reality. Shit hits the fan when you have responsibilities and things you need to take care of. How are you looking at it so positively when this could be this is serious shit?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I could end up with no job by the time this is done. I could lose my house. I could lose my car. I could lose my cell phones. I could lose my cable and internet. But I'm just programmed to do so. And that's why I like to preach this positivity, because if I sit back and I get sad and I just look down on myself and say, oh, this sucks, I don't know what I'm going to do, then that's what I'm left with, is sadness and nowhere to go. But you just got to, because things can always be worse. Yes, I'm losing a job, but what if I never had a job to lose? Yeah, I could lose my house, but I may not have had a house to lose. I may lose a car, but I could have been taking the bus to work for the last 2 years. I mean, I have stuff to lose, but that's because I worked hard to gain it, and I've had the luxuries. And I think if you can learn to lose and take hits, and instead of having them hurt you and put you down, you take those hits as, okay, I know I can take this hit, and I got to move forward, and I got to keep going. Then you come out on top. I took the news, and I had one of two options. I could dwell on it, or I could do something. I hit the Indeed app, and I put out my resume to around 60 companies. I put my resume out to other cell phone places, to management positions and other industries. I started saving money a couple months ago just because I want to go on vacation. But you know what? Guess what? I now have a little bit of a lifeline in case something bad happens. So, I've gone through this before, and it's a matter of learning from what happens, thinking positive, looking at the silver lining, and being prepared, or just beating yourself up and letting it drag you down. And I refuse to let that happen. I mean, it's
so that is the advice is refuse to let it bring you down and crush you, and stay positive, and just realize that things are going to get better if you work hard.
Yeah, man. If you learn how to love losing, because it gives you an opportunity to show what you're worth and what you're capable of, then nothing will ever actually bring you down and keep you down. Plain and simple.
That's brilliant, man. All right, man. Well, I got your back, and I got nothing but prayers and positive vibes always coming your way. But we talk shit all the time to each other, so you'll get that from me anyways. But I appreciate that, man. It's I wasn't gonna throw that question at you, but then as we were talking, I'm like, I think that we should. So
absolutely, man.
All right, man. You have a great day. We'll talk soon, and I think we'll wrap this one up.
All right, buddy. Stay blessed. Man. Say hi to the family.
Will do. Talk later.